Oh, well, hello, beautiful people. Today, I want to dive into a topic that came up during a recent conversation with a good friend of mine. We were talking about trust and how it's something that should be earned and not given, right? After our chat, she made some major changes in her life, and it got me thinking this is a conversation that could benefit so many others. So, especially when it comes to relationships. So let's talk about it and why trust should be earned and how it applies in the early stages of the relationship and some healthy boundaries to get you set to protect yourself. All right, so let's get into it, right? Trust is earned, not given. Instill that in your mind, right? So, first, let's talk about one thing clear, right? Trust isn't something you should just hand out like candy. I'm sure you heard that before. It's something that should be built over time through consistent actions and proven reliability. While it's natural to want to trust people, especially in excitement of a new relationship, it's important to remember that not everyone has the best interest at heart, and sometimes even unintentionally. I'm not saying people are just purposely out there trying to hurt you, right? But trust is like a precious gem. Once you give it, you're exposing yourself to vulnerability, and if it's broken, it's incredibly difficult to repair. And when someone earns your trust, it means that they've shown you through their actions that the respect you care about your well-being and they're committed to not hurting you, right? People say like the easiest way to pull off a scam is to get them to move quickly, right? So you got to think of it like that. Like if you don't want to be scammed, keep asking questions, slow down the process. If someone's not in an urgency to try to scam you or to do something crazy, the longer you wait, the more you're going to find things out. Okay. Um, so let's talk about it. There's some stages that you have when it comes to relationships. So um, when it comes to relationship, particularly in the early stages, like my friend who I mentioned earlier, found herself in a situation where she was giving too much to trust too soon, right? And she was what we call in a win lose situation, right? Because the person she was involved with was clearly taking advantage of her kindness. And it wasn't until she started, setting boundaries and realizing that trust is something that is to be earned that she was able to turn those things around, right? So, um, in the beginning you're both on your best behavior, but true trustworthiness is revealed over time. If you give too much trust too soon, you might overlook red flags or even excuse behaviors that you wouldn't tolerate from someone else, and this can lead to unhealthy dynamics where you're taken for granted or even manipulated. So this is just a really good rule of thumb to keep in mind. If something feels good now, and it's meant to be, it should feel even better after the initial excitement or the high emotions are gone. And we talk about when that cloud nine feeling fades away. What remains should be deeper, more stable connection, where your judgment is not so clouded, right? So if your relationship starts to feel shaky or uncertain once the initial high wears off, it's a sign that trust might have been given too soon. So, just some quick healthy boundaries that you can now establish. So, when you're trying to protect yourself while still allowing a relationship to grow, the answer is just to set healthy boundaries. Boundaries are essential for maintaining your self respect and ensuring that others respect you too. So, here are some key boundaries that you can set to avoid being taken advantage of, right? So the number one thing I would say is, you want to take time. Don't rush into trusting someone. Give the relationship time to develop naturally and observe others, person's behavior in different situations, and that they are consistent in their words and their actions. And we talked about in the last video, actions speak louder than words, right? So they give you the respect and the boundaries and the feelings. And so the second thing is you want to make sure you're clear about your own needs and your expectations from the beginning. Let the other person know what's important to you, and don't be afraid to speak up if something doesn't feel right. This helps to prevent misunderstandings and ensure that both of you are on the same page. um, and of course, the number one thing is we have to watch for those red flags. The red flags are there for a reason, but if we ignore them, they turn into green flags, and it's all bad because they're running all over us. So you want to pay attention to any signs that the other person might not be trustworthy. Do they keep secrets, making excuses, or act differently around other people? These could be warning signs that they're not deserving of your trust, right? And number four, of course, this is always important, is you just want to maintain your independence. It's important to have your own life and not become overly dependent on the other person. So you want to keep your own hobbies, friendships, and goals intact. And this not only helps you maintain your identity, but it also ensures that you're not relying on someone else to make you feel secure and happy. And then the main thing, and this is something that I learned in sales 101, right? Especially when you're dealing with a salesperson in particular, is the ability to walk away. If a person shows you that they're not trustworthy, don't be afraid to walk away. Remember, it's that abundance versus scarcity mindset. You got to think in abundance, right? It's better to end things early than to stay in relationship where your trust is constantly being betrayed. Okay. So some of the roles of trust in healthy relationships is that you want to trust. Trust is a foundation um, of a healthy relationship. So, but it must be built on a solid base. When you take the time to let someone earn your trust, you're setting the stage for the relationship to build on respect, honesty, and mutual care. You deserve to be with someone who values your trust and works to maintain it, not someone who takes it for granted or even exploits it. So I hope you guys really, really, if you find yourself, actually, I should say before, if you find yourself in the early stages of a relationship, and you're single out there now, trust, or even just in a business relationship, right? You're trying to do a business transaction. Just remember that trust is earned; it's not given, and you want to protect yourself, staying in setting healthy boundaries, and making sure that the person you're with deserves the trust you're offering. And you want to keep that rule of thumb in mind, that if it's good now, it should feel even better once the initial excitement fades away, right? And it's not about being closed off or untrusting. It's about being wise, cautious, and ensuring that you're building a relationship on a foundation that will last, especially when you are second guessing your intuition. So I'll leave it at that, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video resonated with you guys. And if you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with others if there's someone that you know is going through this. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I really appreciate that. And hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss new content. I'm posting every day as much as I can. I've also got that project going on too. So a lot of stuff happening. So please subscribe if you haven't. And of course, you've got my social media links too, where I kind of give some shorter content and then some daily inspiration updates and things like that. So until next time, you guys, make it a great day. Take care.